Okay, so we're back with the white lt1650. I'm just testing the starter real quick, just to make sure that starter is engaging and disengaging when we need it to. So I gotta throw that battery in there. That's the first step. Wires. Of course, they're under something. They don't make it easy to work on. But this is just the, from that era, very throwaway kind of mowers, so. Sorry if you can't really see what I'm doing here. It's not exactly a one-handed operation. But we got 3 wires. Main positive, main ground, and this, which I think is a ground wire. Let's see, I might have to set something down here for a minute, but try and squeeze that battery in there. You get it. Yeah, okay. I think I put it in there the wrong way, because the negative doesn't reach. I didn't build this very well. The tractor, I mean, the battery doesn't have issues. As I know, it's only about a year old, which is pretty good for a battery that I have. I always have just wicked old batteries on everything. I'm probably gonna hook this up the wrong way, but it's not an easy operation to do one-handed. Set you up there. You might be able to. Oh wait, I have a face. I forgot that. Oh, screw it. Nope. Shoot. So I think that's a negative wire. I hope that's a negative wire, because if not, I'm going to fry something when I hook this up. Trusty old Leatherman out. Shut up. I'm probably hooking this up the wrong way anyway. Is that even meant a negative? Dogs don't quit barking, of course. Go on. There she goes. That's got a cover on it, doesn't it? Oh, I feel like a real idiot now. Okay, it doesn't. It's just a terminal. Something's hooked up wrong. So I got the battery charger here now. This should tell me if there's some immediate ground fault or something. Let's see about this. Could also be that battery's just been dead from sitting and come out of my a Ford garden tractor I got down on the woodshed at the moment. And the obvious solution to any electrical problems, put more energy through it. You know, if I were smart electrically, I would try and actually look for the problem, but I'm not. Still nothing. So I don't know. It's on lead acid. Oh, there's a check engine thing, though. Oh, there we go. Now it's dumping all the current through it. Truth be told, I don't actually know the difference between current and amps and volts. I know volts will kill you if you're not careful. What? Did I trip that breaker? Oh my god. I swear if I trip that breaker. Still nothing. Screw this. I'm gonna go unhook a mile of extension cord now. Yeah, I tripped that breaker. Son of a gun. So I'm not quite sure why I couldn't get that starter to go. Because it wasn't having any issues with the starter itself last time it was run. Just the ring gear. Could have had those wires hooked up wrong. Like this might be a positive and not a ground. But I don't know. Could be a safety switch or a fuse somewhere that's gone bad. Those happen pretty often on most mowers from around this time. Or it could have, maybe you can't turn that without the flywheel. Because it's something to do with how the magneto and everything completes the circuit there. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to give that some thought. I'm not really the wisest electrically, but it's wrong. It's not a very complicated system either, so you'd think it would be simple, but it never is. One little thing here. What? So here's the key for this tractor, and then here's the standard key for John Deere. They're actually the same cut of the key, so my John Deere key fits right in there. And then you can take the key for this that came with it. Same thing. I don't know if it's a replacement switch or if it was just like that. Oh my god, I'm an idiot sometimes. Okay, whatever. I'll figure this out tomorrow. But anyway, I got the battery out. I'm gonna put my bucket back. There we go. Seat bucket. You can cut an old plastic drum in half like that and use them for seat buckets. I do the same thing on the Ford or any tractor I'm leaving outside. If the seat ain't already ruined, it's a good way to protect it, and if it is ruined, it keeps it from getting water in. There's the deer, the old John Deere. But yeah, I got that battery just trickle charging here. It only kicks on when I'm looking at it, I swear. And then I got my ring gear off my flywheel here. So yeah, the ring gear, it did not come in one piece, it came in 4. And it broke like that when we pried it off there with the chisel. but it was very weak just from either sitting outside or the heat of the engine, maybe. And you got to remember that mower is, what is it, 2025 now. So that mower is a good 23 years old. That's just when stuff like that starts to wear out. But I got that off there. Now I just got to get the ring gear kit and maybe some new rivets for it. But I think the magneto and everything should still work. I hope anyway, because I think that's what was causing it to not start, other than maybe that PTO switch. I think I'm going to try it again, because the PTO switch wasn't fully in, so that might have been just enough to trip my safety switch on there. Battery could also be dead. It's sat since about January, I think, January or February, whenever I fried those connections on the Ford. That's been sitting a while, so I'm going to let it charge. And it might have been that safety switch, or it could have been the circuit being incomplete from the flywheel not being on there. Really a number of things. Electrical systems are always more complicated than you think they are. That's a good rule of thumb to have. Just go in expecting it to be very complicated, even if it shouldn't be, because it always is. Like I say, it also could have been a fuse gone bad in there or something I hooked up wrong too. And I get to start the fun part of this once everything's back together and the tractor runs, because that's when I can drop the transmission out. Fabricate the brackets if I need to move that forward. And then we're gonna actually start building up those the chain drives that come off the... So the chain drives here, I'll demonstrate on this more here. So that whole transmission in there gets moved forward, and then so the axle placement stays the same. You just run a piece of 3/4 inch axle through there and get some bearings and blocks to hold them. And you weld that all up to the rear end so your axle stays right where it was. Your transmission moves forward, and then on your original axles, you put chain drive sprockets, generally, because we want to gear it up. You're going to put the larger sprocket on the transmission, and then the smaller sprocket on the axle you want it to drive. And then depending, if you've locked your differential, if you've welded your differential, then you only really need one chain drive, but since we're running unlocked on the white, you need two. One for each side. But I figure if we're running them each to the same side, it'll be driving the same axle no matter what, so it's going to be like having a locked differential anyway. And this, I might end up making some documentation of what I do to this. I think that'll be kind of interesting, because we're building this into a narrow front. It's an old John Deere 380 that got backed into with a truck and put through a wall. So the fender pan's all screwed up. The plastic for the hood was just destroyed. But it's a good running mower is the problem with it. Like, if it were some old piece of junk, you could justify just throwing it away for scrap or selling it for $50 on the side of the road. But it was a good running mower and everything, and my grandpa did put a lot of money into trying to make it run, which I feel kind of bad for him, because we never did end up getting it right. But he ended up just buying another lawnmower. He told us we could have this one because he couldn't find anybody who wanted it. The deck is in alright shape. And then I had the old front axle that come off it back here, but it's so twisted you couldn't ever use it again. But I think that'll be a cool project. And for the white, I do have high hopes for that starting, because it didn't have any issues when we parked it. But so long as I can figure out my battery cables and everything. And the battery might be shot, because that battery was on my Ford lt1650. And that, you always had to jump that off the big charger, put 220 amps through there on 12 volt, and it would still barely go sometimes. So that battery could very well be... Switch to lithium again. That battery could very well be fried. For all I know, like, really. Why does it keep flashing lithium? I don't know what is up with that. And I have 2 other batteries there. I don't remember what they came off of. That one came off the Cub Cadet. I traded for the white, and that one came off... I don't know. I think that came off the Ford. The little Ford, I think, but I don't really know. Yeah, I think that one just went dead from sitting, honestly. But like I say, it ain't been really used since probably February, maybe January. Just because that little Ford just... I couldn't get it to start anymore. I think something screwed up in there and I gotta fix it, but yeah, it just didn't want to start no more. But yeah, so I'll make an update to this whenever I get my ring gear and everything and get the white all put back together there. There's a lot of covers and stuff that I have to go back on too. Those are all just a few bolts, but the covers are kind of bent out of shape on it, so they might not go back together too easy. Might make a video on that, probably not. But I just got to get it driving at the moment. That's the hard part right now. I mean, yeah, dropping the transmission and remounting it and everything is going to be hard, but at least I kind of know what I'm doing there. I am clueless when it comes to electrical. I really don't know much about it at all. But I'm getting a lot of help from my dad on this, so. He's not the most knowledgeable about electrical either. The electrician in our family, well, he wasn't an electrician, but he was pretty knowledgeable at stuff. But that was my great uncle. He passed away about 2 years ago now, 2 or 3. I lose track sometimes. But yeah, if he were around, he could probably make this thing run in the blink of an eye, and he was good with mechanical stuff too. But me and my dad are just trying to kind of get things figured out on here. And this tractor, we got to weld up a whole front end box for it. We're going to use spindle, a deck spindle out of the mower deck that came with the white, actually, which is kind of why we, well, no, I'm lying. That's not why we wanted it at the time. We wanted it because I didn't want that Cub Cadet Super lt1650, whatever that thing was, because that was almost more of a pile than the white is. And you guys know a lot about the white from what I've been saying, so. Anyway, I think that's it for today. It's probably about 8 o'clock out now, 7 o'clock maybe. It was 7 o'clock when I left the house, so I think I'm done for today. Oh, and I got my welding gear here. I'll show you that quick. So this here is my dad's welding helmet. Real nice auto dart, came with the welder. Yeah, it works pretty good usually. Goes all right. He ain't gone blind or arc flashed from it yet, so. And here's mine, just an old pipe welder style one. It was like 30 bucks, I think. I don't really remember, but hey, it keeps me from getting arc flash. It makes my vision all green after, but that's just how dark it is. I mean, now, like I was saying, you just see that green light through there, and that is the garage lights, them fluorescent lights. And then you can actually flip that up for when you're angle grinding. But here, I'll even put it on as a little demonstration. Yeah, and there I am. Got my welding helmet on now. Hood, helmet, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah. Works pretty good to keep me from going blind most of the time. As long as I remember to put it down. Get my hat back on right here. But yeah, and then there's the little BuzzBox welder we've been using. Nothing on brand, but it'll do either MIG without the shielding gas, or it'll do TIG if you, or not TIG. God, I'm stupid when it comes to this crap. It'll do stick, is what I mean. It will not do TIG. I won't do TIG either, so we got something in common there. But yeah, we got the MIG gun on there right now. It works all right. It's MIG without a shielding gas, so it's always going to be messy and nasty and smoky, but yeah, it is what it is, honestly. I ain't a very good welder either, so it's not really, wouldn't be justified buying any better of a machine, because like no matter how good of a machine you get me, it's still going to be bad welds. But yeah, I figured that'd just be cool to show you. I think that battery's charging up all right. It's doing weird crap, but it always does weird crap. Anyway.